Today I'm going to film kind of more of a top-down breathing versus that bottom-up breathing we're seeking in a supine position. So when our upper abs are kind of more of those superficial layer abs, let's call them, want to kick on and we're not able to really feel those low abs kind of connecting and that exhale from the bottom up, that's when we may see like a bulginess or almost a pressure down. Maybe we see an indentation in those upper abs as pressure is kind of being pushed down. So kind of starting in a supine position with the yoga block between the legs. I prefer a yoga block as opposed to a Pilates ball because a Pilates ball can be easily overpumped. You could see, especially since I'm lying on where you can see my left side, that I have pretty solid left rib flare. Kind of a bilateral rib flare, but definitely more pronounced on this left side. So that's really common postpartum, or just anytime if you see someone laying down and you see these ribs kind of popping up, you know that you're in more of a rib flared position. So you're gonna have to work really hard to control the position of the rib cage. When we're in that flared out open position, you know, that's when you might have some of that lower back pain on that side. And also it's kind of like almost turning me because I'm open here. So it's impacting just my overall body and position. So one of our main priorities is to focus on especially that left rib cage. So when we're inhaling, thinking about inhaling down into the body and a nice 360 expansion. So we want lateral ribs, those kind of upper ribs, to kind of feel like they can move, not just these lower floating ribs to open, but thinking about this lateral expansion kind of right below the armpit area. We're going to think about wanting the chest to move, and we're going to want to think about that backside posterior expansion. Postpartum, a lot of times we're really tight. We're not getting that 360 expansion. Maybe we're getting all belly, or we're breathing paradoxically, so that inhale is going all up into the neck and shoulders. So there could be various things going on with our breath mechanics, and really focusing on getting the inhales and exhales is where we want to start, and doing them well. So I'm going to place my hands kind of on my rib cage. I'm going to think about a little bit of a posterior tuck, not squeezing the glutes, but I don't want to be over here. So you can work on those pelvic tilts to start, so you get that feeling of what it feels like to kind of posteriorly tuck the pelvis. I'm going to take a nice inhale. And we want to watch that everything is not just out on the belly. If you don't want this guy, you don't have to have it. But what I'm really trying to do, and I'm 2 years postpartum, I'm still working on this myself, we really think about that bottom up. So we want these kind of low abs. Think of it like a zipper all the way up the body. Think about that lift from the bottom up, hip bones draw together, and we're slowly moving up the body and feeling these lower ribs kind of melt, almost like thinking about them curving in and kind of coming down towards the ground. So we're filling this back space. Inhale. Exhale. As opposed to trying to mimic kind of those upper abs, or even a bread loafy sensation. It's tough for me too, but I'm really thinking about bottom up, bottom up, bottom up, and connecting with those low abs and thinking about the position, especially of this left rib cage. Versus more top down. Definitely takes practice. Hang with it. I am clearly still working on it in my own body, but just tuning into that rib cage position and thinking about that lift from the bottom up, and a nice long exhalation, which is going to bring on those internal obliques and more of those deeper core muscles, versus if we're doing a sharp, quick, harsh exhalation, getting more of those external obliques and rectus, which is definitely more of those kind of mover superficial muscles, and that could be leading to some pressure down. So give it a try and play around with it and stay patient.